Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a pretty wild idea. What if the same principles that hold molecules together could be used to build powerhouse companies and maybe, just maybe, a more peaceful world? Okay, let's just start with this question. It sounds like the beginning of a very strange joke, right? Hydrogen bonds, world peace, market dominance. But what if there's a real thread connecting them all? Let's follow it. Well, it turns out the answer is a single pattern that shows up everywhere. It's a fundamental rule for how complex systems find their balance, whether we're talking about tiny particles or massive global economies. And getting a handle on it could change, well, pretty much everything. So let's get right to it. What is this core principle? It all boils down to one powerful concept: coherence. This quote just nails it. The key thing to understand is that this alignment isn't about forcing things into place. It's about creating the right environment so that stability just happens. When parts are working against each other, you get friction, inefficiency, waste. But when they're coherent, you get effortless flow. And this is the fundamental rule, the big takeaway. Alignment always comes before stability. It works for atoms, it works for our own thoughts, and, as we're about to see, it works for the entire planet. Okay, so let's zoom out. How does this idea of coherence help us build a new way of seeing the world? This brings us to thinking in spheres, a planetary view. This is spheral thinking. It was developed by literally hundreds of researchers, and it's kind of a response to what Einstein said we needed, a totally new way of thinking. The idea is to stop looking at the world as a bunch of separate, isolated problems, and instead see it as one giant interconnected system of, well, spheres. And this really shows you the shift in perspective. We're so used to thinking in silos, right? Economics over here, environment over there, but that's fragmented. Spheral thinking says, nope, it's all one integrated system. You can't solve one piece without affecting all the others. Wow, okay. So this model is an attempt to map what they call the humanity societal genome. It's basically saying our society, our tech, our information, our organizations, and our social structures, they're all woven together, kind of like a living organism. And the argument here is that to manage something this complex, we're going to need a new kind of AI, one they call a spheral AI. So this is a huge idea. If we really are living inside this single interconnected planetary system, then who are we? What's our role in all of this? This leads to the concept of the planetary citizen. Now, right away, let's be clear, this isn't talking about politics or a one-world government. It's not about what passport you hold. It's an internal thing, a conscious choice to recognize that we are deeply, structurally connected to every other living thing. We're part of the system whether we like it or not. So this mindset is really about choosing a different set of operating principles. It's about shifting away from that constant competitive I win, you lose game. Instead, it's about co-creation, about realizing that what's good for the whole system is ultimately good for us too. It's consciously deciding to be a positive force. Okay, big ideas, big philosophy. But here's the crucial question. How do you make this real? How do you turn a concept like harmony into something tangible, something practical, something profitable? Let's talk about engineering harmony with AI. And this is where the rubber really meets the road. An advanced AI engine has been built specifically to take this principle of coherence and turn it into a killer business strategy. It literally goes into a company, finds all the points of friction and misalignment, and helps code harmony directly into its operations. The engine goes after the exact things that drive modern businesses crazy. Think about decision latency. How long it takes to actually make a call and get things moving. Or systemic fragility, where one tiny hiccup can bring the whole system crashing down. This AI systematically finds those weak spots and replaces that chaos with alignment. And when it works, the results are, well, they're massive. The creators call their process a surgical theater. By applying it to a business, the AI can help slash operational waste by up to 70%. That's what happens when you remove friction. You unleash a massive amount of energy and efficiency. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but with AI these days, how do you know it isn't just making stuff up? And that's a crucial point. This system is designed to avoid those AI hallucinations. It doesn't deal in plausible-sounding sentences, it deals in hard numbers, grounding every single recommendation in verified financial data and market math. All right, let's step back and put all these pieces together, because when you do, a really incredible picture starts to form. This is what we could call a new kind of thrivability. You see the whole progression, right? It all starts with a simple, universal principle of nature: coherence. That principle inspires a new way to see the world: spheral thinking. That worldview gives us a new sense of our role in it: planetary citizenship. And finally, that brings us to a tool that can actually engineer that principle into the real world: the AI engine. And this, for me, is the real mind bender. We've always been told it's a trade-off, right? You can either make a profit or you can be good for the planet. This whole framework says that's totally wrong. It says that true, sustainable market leadership, supremacy even, doesn't come from fighting the system. It comes from being in perfect harmony with it. So I'll just leave you with this final thought to chew on. If we now have the ability to mathematically engineer this kind of coherence into our most complex corporations to make them more profitable, what's to stop us from using that exact same logic to engineer a more lasting peace?